To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go. This is a quote taken from one of my personal favorite songs, The Impossible Dream, from Man of La Mancha. This verse speaks about courage, strength, and passion, which are all qualities I feel strongly about. Good morning, teachers and fellow students. My name is Kaitlyn Rebecca Powell, and this morning I am going to be speaking to you about passion. For those of you who know me, you probably know that music is absolutely my life. It's my incentive and my inspiration, and it means the world to me. I started first singing at the age of 2 when on one of my numerous hospital stays, my doctor told my parents that I was a hummer. I was constantly humming along to the tune of the music being piped into my small hospital room. He suggested that I consider taking singing lessons as I grew up. And ever since then, music has become an integral part of who I am today. Most of my friends constantly tell me how irritating and annoying my obsession with music is. But just recently, during Arts Week, when I was asked to speak about what the arts truly means to me, one of my friends asked me this: "Why do you love music so much?" I've never really put much thought into this question, since my answer always defaults to, "It's hard to explain." But this time, it was different. After offering the usual answer, they simply asked me again, this time expecting an explanation. After thinking about it for a while, I answered with this: music is how I express myself. It's my language of emotion, and it allows me to share my thoughts and feelings when I can't quite put it into words. It's a universal language with no borders, and it's why I wake up every morning. It's always been there for me when some people haven't. And as much as I love music, I need it, and I couldn't imagine my life if I didn't have music in it. However, when I was younger, I used to suffer from severe asthma and RSV, a respiratory virus that causes breathing complications. I ended up spending most of my time in the hospital for up to weeks on end because I was only able to breathe on one side, so my respiratory system was shot. It gradually worsened until eventually, after visiting with a specialist, I was told I would need to undergo surgery as soon as possible. However, if I were to go through with it, I heard the scariest thing: I may not be able to sing again, or if I could, I would have to relearn entirely to get to the point I was currently at. I was terrified. Someone telling me that I may lose singing would be like someone telling me not to breathe. I begged my parents not to go through with it because singing was and still is the most important thing in my life, and I wasn't prepared to lose it. But as most parents do, they put my health first, and they insisted that it was something that needed to get done. And I am so grateful that they chose to go through with it because, thankfully, it went successful, my breathing got fixed, and for me, above all else, I was still able to sing. A few short weeks later, I returned to my voice lessons, and I was so excited to get back into routine. But something just didn't feel right. My sound was much different to what it had been pre-operation, and I didn't feel confident about my voice anymore. After speaking with my teacher, she assured me that it was simply because I hadn't been singing in a while and that she promised it would go back to normal in some time. But I didn't have that much time to spare. I had a big upcoming competition, and I needed my voice to be at least as good as it had been before. I spent the next few weeks leading to the competition practicing tirelessly every day in hopes of good results. But while I had been working to achieve the previous level I was at, everyone else had been working hard to improve theirs. And although I think I sang well that day, I didn't place. I was really disappointed, and even though I knew that I couldn't win all the time, I still felt let down. This one competition made me start to wonder if all of this was even worth it. As much as I loved music, it was interfering with my school, my friends, and it was becoming too big of a time commitment for me. I was missing an hour of school every week just to go to voice lessons. I had theory classes every day, and I barely ever got to hang out with my friends anymore. And to make matters worse, a lot of people were doubtful and didn't support my decision to prioritize my music above all else. I was told that I may not even become a future singer, So all of this might end up just being a waste. I was told that it would be beneficial to become a lawyer or a doctor or something more useful. But these comments only helped me to realize that music is what I love to do. It's who I am, and I am not going to change that. No one is. I would so much rather spend my life doing something that I truly love and live for than something that I do to please other people. After all, that is what passion is all about. I started trying to embrace my music even more, and I tried to take every opportunity I could. I did everything I could to integrate music more fully into my daily life. In fact, this was around the time when I first started drawing a treble clef after my name on everything and anything I did. I made a point of visiting as many opera houses and concert halls throughout Europe as I could, all towards my end goal of one day becoming a professional opera singer. I busied myself with surrounding myself with people that shared my love of music just as me, and I did all of this because I truly loved it. I also began taking piano lessons, I took up violin and guitar, and I joined my first choir, the OCC, run by our incredibly talented Dr. Morrison. This was truly one of the best experiences of my life. One of the many lessons I've learned throughout my singing journey was learning to accept the fact that not everything you do, you're going to succeed at. The only way to improve at something is to take your failures, to realize where you went wrong, and just keep trying. For example, just a few years ago, I auditioned for the role of young Cosette in a Toronto production of Les Mis. I had the incredible opportunity of returning for 9 callbacks, but in the end, I just wasn't what they were looking for. Regardless, I kept trying my best, I practiced even harder than I had before, and I kept trying to improve my voice. When I found out that this year's all-school musical was also Les Mis, I decided to take a chance and audition for the same role I had auditioned for just a few years earlier. I was so fortunate to have received the role this year, and because I didn't give up, I feel like I've grown so much as a musician and as a performer. This experience of perseverance has stuck with me and taught me that when you fail, the only thing you can do is just try again. Not everything you do in life you'll be successful at. You'll probably get turned down as many, if not more times, than you succeed. But the important thing is that you gave it your all and you truly tried your best. Another lesson I learned is to stop comparing yourself to others. As I mentioned earlier, at that one competition, once I saw how talented my peers were, I almost stopped doing what I love because I felt like I needed to be as good as everyone else. But what I didn't realize that day is that I was only competing against myself, not the people around me. There was so much more to competing than just receiving a placement or awards. It's about the learning. It's about getting the feedback, having the opportunity to surround yourself with people that share your same passion, and getting inspired by others. Music is how I learned to be more open-minded and how I learned to accept and appreciate criticism and use it to better myself. All in all, music truly has been a wonderful, long journey for me, and I can honestly say I have learned so many important life lessons and learned a lot about who I am as an individual through singing. And I owe it all to my incredible and supportive family who never stopped to encourage me with what I love to do. And I hope that one day all of you can experience this with your passions as well. Now, I'm not suggesting all of you go out, pick up an instrument, and force yourselves into loving music, because passion isn't something that you do for others. Everyone's dreams are different, and they could take you years to discover, or maybe you've already found it. But it's never too late to start doing what you love, or what makes you happy. Whether it be music, sports, sailing, drawing, cooking, or anything else, when you find what you truly love to do, stick with it, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there and just try. To close my presentation today, I would like to revisit the opening lines which I sang at the beginning of my speech. To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, and to run where the brave dare not go. I believe that these few lines sum up my thoughts entirely on this topic and reflect where I want my music to take me in life. Don't limit yourself. Believe in your capabilities, and regardless of if you succeed or not, just try. Persevere through difficult times or situations, and don't give up. And remind yourself, failure is the best opportunity to grow and improve yourself. Never tell yourself you can't achieve something. If you truly want it with all your heart and you put your whole heart to it, it'll happen. Take risks, try your best, and keep following your heart, because eventually, I promise you, you will succeed. Thank you very much.